Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Q1 FY22 results conference call of Arihant Superstructures hosted by Kirin Advisors. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode, and there will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star 10 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Vastupal Shah from Kirin Advisors. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I would like to welcome Mr. Ashok Charger, Chairman and Managing Director of Arihant Superstructure Limited, Mr. Abhishek Shukla, Chief Strategy Officer, and Mr. Deepak Lohia, Chief Financial Officer of the company. I would like to hand over to Mr. Abhishek Shukla to give Q1 FY22 result highlights. Abhishek ji, over to you.
Thank you, Vastupal. First of all, a very good afternoon to all of you. And thank you very much for taking time out on a public holiday and joining us. I'll first take you through some operational highlights for Q1 FY22, and then I'll move on to the financial highlights. Followed by a brief about the company strategy from Mr. Ashok Charger, our CMD. So to start with, we have Q1 was marked by second wave of COVID. However, we have been able to achieve one of the best performances in Q1 FY21. Having learned important lessons from the COVID shutdown last year, and we have unveiled the new avatar of Arihant Superstructures, and it is a bolder, newer avatar, and we do not shy away from taking on bold and aggressive bets, and that's the reason we have been able to digitally launch two new projects in Q1 when lot market was in a shutdown mode. We have launched Arihant Advika at Vashi, which caters to the high income group, and Arihant 5 Anaika at Taloja, which is in affordable category. Overall, these are 700 plus new units launched. Coming to the sales booking achieved in Q1 FY22, we have sold about 368 units, which aggregates to 3.07 lakh square feet of area. And in terms of value, it is 178.7 crores compared to 181 crores in Q4 FY21. The total collection stood at 93.9 crores as compared to 112 crores in Q4 FY21. In terms of number of units sold, we have been able to maintain the broad momentum in spite of the stamp duty waivers, etc., going away in Q1, and we have been able to deliver good numbers in COVID restriction timeline. And if you see, even as compared to Q1 FY21, the numbers are the numbers in growth is pretty high. Taking you through the financial highlights, the total revenue stood at 84.66 crores as against 10 crores in Q1 FY21. That is a year-on-year change of about 7 times. And as compared to Q4 FY21, the number stood at 124 crores, which is down about 30%. But Q4 is historically and cyclically the best quarters for all real estate companies. Q1 is generally a slow quarter for most real estate companies. Coming to EBITDA, the EBITDA in the Q1 stands at 15.39 crores as compared to 1 crore in Q1 FY21 and 20 crores in Q4 FY21. The PAT figures stand at 8.29 crores in Q1 FY22 as compared to a loss of 7 crore in Q1 FY21 and about 13 odd crores in FY21 Q4. So there has been a significant jump over quarter one FY 21 figures, and even if we compare the numbers from quarter one FY 20, which is the pre-COVID scenario, the number of units has grown from 149 units sold to 368 units sold now. In quarter one FY 20, which is 2 years back, the area sold was 1.45 lakh square feet. Now we are at 3.07 lakh square feet. And the value sold in quarter one FY 20 was 64 crores. We are today at 178.7 crores. So even looking at since Q1 FY 21 was a non-comparable year for us, but compared to 2 year ago period as well, we have been able to nearly show new sales bookings at roughly about 7.8 times. So it has been a fantastic quarter. EBITDA margins have inched up from 16.77% in quarter 4 to 18.17% in quarter 1 FY 22. PAT margin has slightly reduced from 10.84 crores to 9.8 crores. However, quarter 4 had an exceptional item of a land sale in Jodhpur. If we take out the effect of the same, the PAT numbers are more or less similar. Now I'll hand over the further presentation to Mr. Ashok Chharjar, Chairman and Managing Director, Arihant Superstructures. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Q1 con call. As Abhishek has narrated that vis-a-vis comparing to the Q1 20, the non-COVID year, prior to the COVID year also, we have been almost able to do up and double and more than double the number of all figures. And comparing to the total annual figures of last financial year ending, we are almost crossing up with the 50% of the total annual year in the first quarter itself. And looking forward, we see that the trend is same, though the ESOPs from the government has stopped up on the year ending March 21, that is the stability waiver and etc. In spite of it, and in spite of partial lockdown in Mumbai for the month of Mumbai as well as Jodhpur, partial lockdown in the month of April and May, and June being in full of rain, heavy rains, where the transit has been difficult for people to travel, maybe engineering, maybe sales. We still have been managed to do up with our aggressive approach from the sales as well as the engineering team, and got the fabulous numbers and achievements. And we see that this trend is going to continue. And in terms of business development, we added up with around less than a 2 acre of new purchasers in the quarter 1 until today, and that helps out to add up the square footages on a periodic and quarterly basis also. So with the totally paid up lands in the books of the holding company Arihant Superstructures Limited, the approval of plans would be submitted in the Q2, which is due a tune of around 1.45 million square feet for both the projects. And looking forward, the new acquisition of lands are also being talked, and we hope that by the end of this financial year, as the current company has targeted, we would like to put up an additional 10 million square feet of more spaces of construction and the projects in the kitty of the company, maybe on a satellite model or on purchase model, depending upon the middle income group to low affordable housing, etc. And seeing this, we are open for many new ventures in terms of private equity, in terms of strategic tie-up for increasing the size of the book. Till today, with the sales figures which have been sold, the total receivable and not billed to the company is around 300 crores plus 60 crore rupees of duly. So 350 crore rupees, 360 crore rupees is already tied up from the existing clients to flow up in the next 1.5 year. And so there is a clear visibility of cash flows also for a long good period of 150, which will be added up by the new sales. We are about to have some good few launches in this quarter, and waiting for the rains to just slow down and see that the effective launching is successful. So as we are aggressive enough to gear up the books of the Arihant Superstructure Limited. I open the conference call for question and answer.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on the touchtone telephone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. The first question is from the line of Keval Ashar from DSP Investment Managers. Please go ahead.
Congratulations, Ashok ji, and the team for good set of performance in Q1 and in FY21 as well. So, firstly, wanted some idea on the real estate scenario currently. So that we have seen that over the past 5 years there has been stagnant prices in real estate. But in FY21 we have seen that prices in real estate have risen up. So do we see the upcycle in real estate coming in for coming few years?
Yes, and if you see the trend in the last quarter, what informations are available from the analysts and the industry, there is already an increase in price by 5 to 7 to 10% depending on location to location. And looking forward, the trend would continue. It may not be a very speculative manner of working which happened up in the era of 2008 to 2012, but there would be a good steady increase in pricing of sale price of the product also.
Correct. Second thing which I wanted to know is what is the current ready to sell inventory with us, and how much sales are we planning in FY22, number of units?
Today we have a ready to move in inventory of around less than 100 crores, including both the projects Arihant Arshia at Khopoli and Arihant Aditya at Jodhpur. And what we see that on a quarterly basis and annual basis we are completing projects. So the ready inventory would be first in first out method also. It would keep on moving out and in, and would be steady to and tune of 100 crores throughout the years. And what the targets have been given to the sales team is to a target of around 1,500 flats annually. And with respect to it, when we see the quarter one, we have already achieved that quarter one target of 3 months. In spite of the environment not being very much comfortable in terms of people to travel.
Correct, sir. Second thing which I wanted to know is we've reduced that debt by 90 crores estimatedly in FY21. So it is currently at around 290 crores. So how much debt reduction do we plan in FY22 if we do plan?
I think it would be very marginally because business development would be given major priority. And for your information, out of this 290 crores and which has not changed from the year ending March 21 to quarter one ending this year. But out of this, around 125 is the secured debt, and the rest of is unsecured debt by the promoters, which are payable when enabled. So this leaves the company to a very comfortable position of servicing in terms of cash flow to only 121 crores or 125 crores.
Great to know that. And sir, last thing which I wanted to know is Arihant Advika, that is our high-end luxury project in Vashi area. So is that ready for sale, and because that can basically increase our average square feet prices for the yearly sales?
We already have got the plans approved, the RERA registration done, and the sales have already started off within good size of campaign. And the rates are something around 15,000 rupees a square feet. And we see that Vashi has a predominant very big demand from the last many years. It's almost around 13 years the first project has come. And we are about to start off the construction. It is a redevelopment project with an asset-light model. And hence, the time it starts off, the sales figure would contribute to a lot to the total number of acres.
Correct. So in FY22, we'll be seeing sales in Arihant Advika, right?
Yeah, it already has started off. We sold in the pre-launch stage a decent amount of it.
Sure. Thank you so much, and all the best for the future.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Tirath Muchala from LUC Vidya Advisory. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for taking my question. I wanted to know about Arihant Advika. If you could just tell us more about the kind of margin or IRR profile, and how did you come across this redevelopment opportunity? Just to understand.
IRR would always be very high because the initial land payment is not there, and the equivalent to land payment happens a bit throughout the cycle of the project, which is in the model of rents and deposits being paid. And so IRR to the investment would be quite good and very high. In terms of margin to the sale price, we look forward for an average of 15 to 16, 18, 20% of market by average selling margins to the selling prices.
And the old developer, has he paid the premiums or the duties that need to be paid, or how is the structuring of the deal?
Can you please come again?
I wanted to know how the deal was structured. Is it completely owned by us now, Advika, or is it?
Yeah, it's a redevelopment project which the company entered up into a development agreement with the people in the year 2013. It took a reasonable time for the notification and the approvals to come, though investment was very paltry, and hence that token investment has yielded to a greater opportunity. And it is 100% owned by the Arihant Ashiana subsidiary of the company, and so it is not within any external equity sharing at the project level.
Okay. Super. Can I ask a few more questions, or should I get back in line?
Please continue.
Yeah. So I wanted to know, so I've seen some ads of Arihant Alinta, but I haven't seen it in the presentation. So is that part of the pipeline, or is it a promoter building, or what is that?
That project was taken in the year of 2009, prior to this listed company coming into place. And hence, as the strategy had been there in the year 2009-10, when the company was 25 lakh rupees of a paid-up capital company with no assets and liabilities, and none of the projects were brought in by valuation method to the company's kitty. It was in the form of equity and debt, where in the year 2010 onwards, the funds were utilized for the acquiring of almost 30 million square feet of projects all around in Jodhpur as well as in Mumbai. Hence, this forms to be the project prior to the company coming, and hence it happens to be in an partnership firm of the promoters level.
Okay, so the listed company, we don't have any stake in this, correct?
They were. In terms of project management consultancy and in terms of project administration, the holding company is getting in fees from this company, and hence the management would be done for execution of the project at engineering level by the Arihant Superstructures Limited, wherein a fees would be paid by the company, by the Arihant Talibda company to the holding company.
Okay, super. Thank you so much.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Vaibhav Kacholia from VK Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. I wanted to know, at the end of quarter 4, we had something like 3,500 apartments in pipeline, plus what you were planning to launch. So what would that number be now?
The total size of the company with the existing project where the approvals are in place is to a tune of 5,500, out of which 3,500 is the number where the construction was ongoing. What was added up to these numbers is the 2 new launches which happened in the month of April 21, that is Arihant Advika, bringing in 350 units, and Arihant 5 Aneka, bringing in the same size of 300 units to the total size of on the starter of projects. So that were already accounted for 5,500 numbers, and the 3,500 number where the projects are under shelf and open for engineering as well as sale today is to a tune of 4,100.
Okay, so this was not anticipated earlier, and this is what I could make out from the Q4 con call was that 3,500 was including ongoing plus what you were planning to launch in FY22.
Yeah, can I take that, sir?
Yeah, please, Abhishek, over to you.
Yeah. So thank you, Vaibhav, for the question. So what has happened is, with the new UDCPR coming in, there has been some FSI increase in a couple of projects. Okay. So that's where some of the additional units are coming in, and as compared to the Q4 presentation, looking at the current environment, we are envisaging further launches as well. So if you see in the current presentations that we have uploaded on the exchanges, you will see that the new launches have now gone up to about 2,900 units, and added to that was 1,200 odd units from the ongoing inventory. So that takes it to about 4,100, 4,200.
Okay, this is as of Q1 end, 4,100, 200?
Yes.
Okay, and Mr. Sagar, so can we look to increase the sales velocity further, and what would be the challenges for us to sell more out of this 4,100, whatever? Plus, I'm sure new projects may also get added in the future. So how do we increase the velocity? 1,500 is what you said. So how does it become 2,000 or 2,500 this year or next year or whenever?
We see that we would be achieving around 1,500 flat sale, and the rest would follow up because projects are of generally the real estate projects are of good size, and it doesn't get sold out at the start of the project day. And over the period cycle of the project gets sold out, as well as the new projects get added on. So we don't find any challenges. We are pretty confident of getting number of 1,500 for this year, and which means almost and 50% CAGR to the last financial year ending 21.
Right. And this year's average value per apartment will be higher, and what range will it be, like 50 lakhs or?
See, average always depends upon what type of project is getting launched. So by and large, I think it would be the same figures of 4,500 and around, and because the company owns a project right from 25 lakhs onwards till to a tune of 1.5 crore. So the new projects which are going to come around affordable housing, that is RERA has been registered yesterday only, and the project is scheduled to launch up in the first week of August, or when we see that the rains have dropped down. And that is with an capex of 23 lakhs for a one-bedroom all kitchen, and around 34-35 lakhs for a 2 BHK. What is more important for the company, which is where 85% is into affordable housing, is the margins and the IRR rather than the average ticket size of the project of each flat sold. For your answer, it will be everything exactly the same what was in the last financial year.
We got that. Thank you so much, sir. And so one more question, like over the next 3 or 5 years, how do we scale up the company? Like we've been performing fabulously. So how do we scale up the company to much larger sales? Like what can be our aspirational targets in terms of sales? Can we reach 4,000-5,000 apartments and stuff like that? Like other builders have been doing huge numbers as well. So where can we hope in the next week?
Given the existing capital, I think we can move out with an very nice CAGR of 50%. And given the equity infusion or the capital in the hands of the company, the results can be tune of even 3x, 4x also, because the strategies which we adopt has been already visualized by the markets and the analysts, how we take care of in the bad times of like 18-19 also. That is due to the experience of 1996 downfall by the main promoter group and the management committee, the downfall in the time of 2005, and we knew that we can sail through even this time also. So given the capital, I think we can easily go to 4x with the number of size of projects being increased. But with the existing cash flows and existing size of the capital which we have, I think we will be able to do up on 50% CAGR.
Understood perfectly, sir. Thank you so much.
Capital will be required to get into the next orbit of that size. The business development department is almost ready for it, and it is having proposals of the same nature and kind on the table, which can be engaged. But as told, we generally do not do up an oversize of project to the capacity which we have, and leaving out ourselves into a position where the existing projects are also disbalanced. So the first priority is to see that nothing goes wrong in terms of implementation of the existing projects, and they are implemented first. The funds are being allocated to them, and marginal excess cash flows are utilized for the new project acquisition. So capital would be required for this type of numbers where we can talk about and 4x size of the company also.
Understood perfectly, sir. And so in terms of business development or sale of apartments, are we facing any competition? Like Godrej had bid for that Navi Mumbai Sidco project. So had we also bid for that? And in general, are we seeing competition in business development and in apartment sales?
No, Navi Mumbai is a big market, and it's a booming market. So more number of players make a more better market, like what we forget, like the Zaveri Bazaar owns up almost all the jewelers, but still it though being competition, it's a successful market. So Navi Mumbai and Jodhpur, where we talk about, it's a successful market, and more the number of players of organized developer comes, and the consolidation happens with the smaller developers, we have a better position, and we are confident that when we talk about numbers with the Godrejes also, we have higher numbers than them in the region of operations of Navi Mumbai.
Right, understood. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. We would like to remind participants that you may press star 1 to ask a question. The next question is from the line of Nilesh from Meta Design. Please go ahead.
Hello. Yes. Greetings, Ashokji. Thank you so much, and excellent numbers. And it just seems like yesterday we had a yearly review call, and 3 months is such a short time for real estate to actually, I think. So, Ashokji, the sales that have happened, what is the payment scheme that customers are preferring? Are they going with a construction link plan, or is the subvention scheme still in flavor, or how? Can you just throw some light?
No, we do a simple sale on project on stage-wise completion manner payment. So we don't have any subvention schemes going on where the company has a contingent liability to pay the interest for the flats being booked. We just go as real estate has been all these years, plain vanilla, about selling and taking the payments as per construction link plan.
Okay. And these two projects which have been launched, they are expected for a delivery by what date?
Can I hear you more clearly?
I said the projects which have been launched, the Advika and the Taloja project, they are slated for completion by what date, by which quarter or which year?
This would be completed within range of 4-year plan. We tell to the clients that it would be a 4-year plan, but for the for the compliances to be done and for the safety and for giving the company safeguarded, we always have in RERA and very extended date.
Correct. So the 360 crores that you said, which is billable and to be received in the next 1.5 years, is a part of these two projects or part of other projects also?
This will flow from all the projects.
From all the projects.
It's not for only two projects because the larger projects are Arihant Alishan, which is ongoing. Arihant Aspire is almost 3 million square feet, which is ongoing. There is around 1.5 million at Arihant Arshia. There is again around 1.5 million in Jodhpur at Arihant Anchal. So the size of the projects are into two categories. That is, 50% of the size are to a tune of 1.5 to 2 million, and 50% are faster cycle projects of less than 0.5 million square feet.
From a cash flow perspective, what kind of credits do you enjoy from our material suppliers?
Our time cycle is around 30 days for the vendors.
Even for the labor contractors?
Everybody.
Everybody. We also said, Ashokji, that around 100 crores is our ready-to-move-in inventory that we hold. I remember there were some taxation issues on the rentals being charged by IT department or something like that. So do we have provisions for those, and are we actually paying some tax for holding completed inventory?
We have accounted it for, but we are not paying it for, and hence whenever it comes in terms of assessments, we would take care of it.
Okay. There was also an item on the conveyance deed which has been by defecto auto for society. So does it have any impact on us, or where we are gaining on some accounts by the new UDPC are giving more FSI? Are we also losing on some account because of conveyance directly getting converted to?
Of completing the project and handing over societies within the municipal time throughout the ages of almost 2.5 decades. And so we keep and support. We don't sell services. We don't sell maintenance liabilities, etc. We do support to them in terms of managing it out in the initial days till the people in large come to the society. And an average of 12 months, we hand it over the accounts to them. And so we don't gain anything from it. We don't pay anything from our pocket to it. And in terms of FSI, we know that we don't want to be, as a strategy, we don't want to add on more floors and enhance the life cycle. Generally try to finish it off. So we know that lands are available, opportunities are more available rather than keeping the customers waited another one more year.
From a profitability perspective, so if I understand correctly, you are also of the line that EBITDA of 20% should be consistent, and it would be possible for us to maintain that going forward, right, for a foreseeable future.
Sorry to interrupt, Mr. Nilesh. This is the conference operator. There's a disturbance coming from your line. Request you to mute your line while the management answers your question.
Yeah, sorry. Sure. Yes. So, do I need to repeat the question?
They're trying to get it. Can you repeat the question?
Yeah. I'm saying from a profitability perspective, is 20% EBITDA is something that we can, I think, if I understand correctly, you are also targeting that, and for a foreseeable future, can we consider this to be intact or ensured?
Ensured. The EBITDA margins would remain the same, and we'll try to inch it up to another 10% to the existing 17-18%. So if your question is what the EBITDA margins would be,
Yeah.
you can add on to it to around 20% or 22 with a wide range, a bandwidth of 20 to 22%.
Okay. And to increase on margins, are there any forward or backward integration plans like Shobhas of the world? They have integrated forward or a backward integration of manufacturing of door frames or windows or of that sort. So is there something we can consider?
Increasing margin, we call that strategy. We tried it out in the year 2012, where a subsidiary was formed, Arihant Techno Infra Private Limited, wherein the AAC block units was manufacturing unit was put up in the state of Rajasthan, which was the only unit in the state of Rajasthan. So it was a monopoly product. Somehow the real estate got not to a fair good upward trend cycle. The construction speed dropped out. The unit was unit went into big losses, and Arihant Superstructures was holding 60% of the stake in that particular entity. As in from the promoter side, we offered out the exit to the company from the losses as well as the entity, and took a buyout of 60% shareholding from them, from the holding into our personal kitty, and the company was protected from the losses coming to the balance sheet of the company, which was almost to the tune of something around 35-40 crore rupees.
Okay. And last question, sir. When do you think we are ready or we would want to raise capital again now? There is an approval which is there. So when do we see that coming to the markets? Or
we are approaching markets from this day, Q1 ending itself, and we see that we are open for it by any given time, whenever the investor is fairly interested, because that is the only way where the growth of the company would happen, and wherein the promoter holding would get reduced from 74% to, if there is a dilution of 20%, from 74% down to 60%, and then the debt of the promoters can be converted again into equity at that same price what the investor is coming in. And this is how the numbers of the balance sheet of the company would change to a larger extent. This is how the ratios would change. This is how the advantage would go to the each and every shareholder and the minority shareholders also. So that is the strategy, that is the plan, that given the capital, business development would be spiraled up. Given the capital, the equity holding of the promoters will get reduced, and consequently the debt of the promoters can be converted into equity at the same price of the incoming investor. This is how the exchange would happen. This is where the company's real worth and real the numbers would be there. As initially in the conference call of today, which I told that in the year 2009 it was by the way of rights and reverse merger, the company was taken after the rights were issued from 25 lakhs to 40 lakhs to be paid up capital company, where it was holded by me. So it is only 10 crore of public raising where the company has started off, and the management has been able to build the company from 10 crore rupees of investment from the public to a size of company with 7,000 crores of book and with an 150 crore of net worth. So that is the strength. Given the अगर हमारे पास capital अगर आती है तो easily इसी strategy से इसी तरीके से 4x तक increase कर सकते हैं. So when we compare peer companies, it is like Arihant has yet not raised from the markets largely, and this is a real good time for an investor to come in fairly. And more and more business development happens, the value of the company would change, and the greater opportunity would be there going forward, leaving behind the opportunity which could have been left out in the past days when the investment would happen.
Correct. No, of course, there has been a dream run for us going forward, but from the promoter perspective, how much minimum majority stake you would want to ensure? Can we see that we will not go below X percentage as a promoter holding?
Exactly, I cannot figure out today, but by and large, what we see is that and what the investor want to put in would decide on the reduction or dilution percentage would be decided to from there onwards. As an wish list from my promoter, my personal shareholding, I would wish to dilute it out from the top to bottom by 20%.
Okay. Yes, sure. Thank you. We surely want you to be at the helm of affairs, irrespective of any investor, to continue the dream run. Thank you so much, Ashokji. Thank you for taking the questions.
Thank you. Participants, to ask a question, you may press star and 1 now. The next question is from the line of Apurva Mehta, an individual investor. Please go ahead.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, sorry, good afternoon. Congratulations for the good set of numbers. Sir, I have few questions. My first question is, what is land bank we have currently?
We have around, in terms of buildable, 9.5 million, which can be to a tune of something around 50 acres.
Okay. And so my second question is, as the market is improving, do you see rising land cost?
Generally, wherever there is an momentum, all the verticals try to get the best of it. Undoubtedly, there will be an rise in land costs also compared to the previous years or previous ages.
Okay, so does it have impact on our land acquisition strategy?
पैसा है तो खरीदने का, जिस टाइम है उस टाइम उस रेट से मिलेगा. ऐसा तो नहीं हो सकता है कि उसको बोले कि पिछले 2 साल की रेट में देना, तो जब भी खरीदने का उस टाइम का पैसा लगेगा.
Okay, yeah. That's all. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. As there are no further questions, I would now like to hand the conference over to Mr. Vastupal Shah from Kirin Advisors for closing comments.
Thank you everyone for joining the conference call of Arihant Superstructure Limited. If you have any queries, you can write us at vastupal@kirinadvisors.com. And once more, many thanks for joining the conference call. Thank you.
Thank you. On behalf of Kirin Advisors, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us, and you may now disconnect your lines.